Good morning, everybody. It's Friday, November 29th, and this is the AgYield War Room. I'm Dan Dempsey, and I'll be moderating today's session. As always, if you've got any questions or comments, please feel free to drop us a line in the chat area, and we'll be sure to get to it during the show. As a reminder, there were no overnight markets. We're going to have a hard open at 8:30, so we'll jump right into weekly export sales this morning. Corn, middle of the range, 1,062,900. Solid week for soybeans. Top end of the estimates, 2,490,500. Wheat sales came in kind of lower end of the range, 366,800. Meal solid, 487,300. And very shockingly, bean oil this morning, 124,800 for sales. Top end of the estimates were 50. So that is an extremely large number. It'll be interesting to see how the oil complex reacts here this morning. Also had a couple of export sales announcements, really big numbers here this morning. 840,000 metric tons of soybeans to unknown for 24 and 151,700 metric tons of soybeans also to unknown for 24. So waking up, seeing huge sales here this morning, certainly in the soybean complex. The oil market will be interesting to see how we react there. That's a number. I got a text before the show here from Justin that he's not so sure he's seen sales that big in his career. So certainly a crazy big number. But Ben, maybe a couple of thoughts as we start the morning here, and we'll put a bow on the week.
Yeah, going through Wednesday, we're forcing a lot into 1 week here, being the point where a lot of people have to price or be done with their grain or take the risk of making or taking delivery. And we seem to digest that pretty well. There was some very late bear spreading or puking of December corn on Wednesday. It maybe gives you a little bit more tilt, a little bit more of a neutral bias towards the mindset that we should bounce out of here. Soybean sales were tremendous this morning. We'll see how that acts there. There's a lot of rumblings about the Russian ruble getting weak and that really being a problem for wheat. I don't really know. I think that they beat wheat up enough, but we'll see here. Very lightly participated day in these markets. You can typically, you're either going to find it lock into a couple pennies or we're going to have a wild day, one way or the other. The big news this morning were great soybean sales, right? And I think the trade is generally very negative towards soybean pricing because of what's coming in South America, but maybe we've priced that in now. So looking forward to the day, looking forward to see how things continue to work their way out in the corn contract. I think the speculative longs, this is the place where they get punished a little bit as they have to move out before delivery or spread to March and pay the toll. And we get to find out over the next few days how committed they are to wanting to be long the corn market.
And we did have 111 corn deliveries, 776 meal deliveries, and 105 Kansas City wheat deliveries. So those were announced here this morning as well from Wednesday. Now, Ben, we generally, with the hard open here at 8:30 this morning, just give us maybe just a tad bit of insight on where you'd call it here this morning.
I think corn is going to open up within a penny of where it settled the other day. Some position squaring following first notice day. I think soybeans are going to find some buyers early, see if they can stick it. Now, beans have had a kind of a proclivity as of late to have some decent sales and then sell off. And I don't know, these were pretty big sales, so I would have a little bit. I might pump the brakes on that mindset this morning here a little bit. So I'm going to call beans a 3 to 4 higher, corn plus or minus a penny, and I think wheat will be slightly lower to start.
All right, it's on video. We'll see how Ben does today.
Put that to the test.
It'll be interesting though. I think on the beans though, with the Brazilian real getting really hit hard overnight here. What'll win out, the sales or the Brazilian real being so weak right now. So that should be interesting to see. Corn's been kind of range bound around this holiday. The last 12 years, I think it's got like a 4-cent range. So I'm kind of in Ben's corner there. We'll see how that goes, but it'll be really interesting to see how the beans trade today.
Yeah, no doubt. Ryland, I know we were talking before the show. We're not out of the woods here on the screwworm deal. But what are your thoughts as we wrap up the week on cattle and hogs?
Yeah, I mean, you're just throwing so much at the market so fast, and just it felt like all the specs were kind of leaning the right way, for any kind of news that was coming our way. So this, I mean, as far as the screw worm situation goes, it doesn't. I haven't seen a ton of updates on the situation, so still a lot more to know. I don't think that's enough really to shake anybody out of the market yet. So we did see new highs for the move in feeders, but it still kind of came back close towards the middle of the range. All the cash news last week on the live side of the market was pretty friendly. I mean, we were up $3 on the live side, up to 190, and in Nebraska, like 295 was pretty much the average. It seemed like there was some paying up here, up to $3 and 306 in some areas in the north and Iowa. So generally, it's up $5. So I mean, overall, like the news is still really good on the cash side. We're still a discounted market here. It seems like most of the length here, most of the spec money is still going to be in the February contract. So it's just a matter of what's the right basis. I think at this point, but you really haven't had too much bad news. You had a little bit lower of a beef market on Wednesday, so we were down about 31 cents in the choice and $1.19 in the select. So I don't think that's going to cause too much of a shock, but it does feel like the Packers really came after it right before the holiday. So we'll see. Maybe we see a little bit of higher trade to start just on kind of the good cash news, and just more of the same from what we've seen in feeders. It seems like everybody comes after them right on the open, and then we just kind of taper off towards the end of the session. So we'll see if that plays out again. So I'm calling them a little bit firmer here, just based off the cash news alone. And on the hog side of things, we're still a big discount right now on the board relative to where the index is. So unless we really see a big change in cash, it feels like there's a lot of confidence that the market can stay supported just on that fact alone. But we are seeing things like carcass start to drop a little bit here. Bellies are back down to 109. Those are down like $9.50. On Wednesday. So a little bit weaker news fundamentally, and it just feels like the specs are still going to be pushing the long side and pressing the Febs, maybe even the Aprils at this point, just from what we've seen. There wasn't too much here on the export side of the market. Overall, pork sales, 17,200 metric tons, down about 5% from the previous week, but it was still up 1% from the 4-week average. So still pretty friendly. I mean, overall, there just doesn't seem to be any really bad news to scare anybody at this point, but you never know. It's kind of holiday trade, little bit more volatility, a little lighter volume. So we'll see if that's enough to shake anything out, but I'm just calling hogs steady mixed at this point.
Very good. Hard to believe we're going to flip the calendar to December next week. So it's
quick one.
It keeps rolling. Guys, very good. I know it's short and sweet here this morning because obviously with the holiday yesterday, but it is Friday and it wouldn't be right if we didn't have Fun Fact Friday. So what do you got for us, Bri?
Thanks, Dan. I hope everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Today is Black Friday. So how can you do a Friday fun fact about talking about Black Friday? Originally coined in 1869 for the stock market crash. So that took on a first meaning of Black Friday. And then in the 1950s, the Philadelphia police coined it Black Friday for all the chaos that the city took in with all the tourists for the Army-Navy game. It wasn't until the 1980s where it took on a kind of a positive note for retailers with the Christmas rush from going in the red into the black with all the sales today. The average consumer will spend about $300 today. Its counterpart, Cyber Monday, consumers will spend about $200. 12% of people admit being drunk shopping today. So that was kind of interesting. And there's also been 12 deaths associated with Black Friday, so be careful out there. Not only is it a windfall for the retailers, Ryland, the plumbing industry has an intake of 50% of hire more calls today. Hence, they call it Brown Friday.
Oh,
after all that stuffing, you can assume with clogged drains and everything like that. So happy Friday, everybody. Be careful out there.
I will tell you, driving past the mall this morning, it's rocking over there. So you're telling me we got to be safe on the roads with all these drunk drivers around here. Huh?
Yeah, the 12% that just admit to it. Yeah. That doesn't count for the 30% that won't admit to it.
Oh, very good. Well, I appreciate that, guys. We once again we'll be closed early here today. We're going to open at 8:30 Central. about 5 minutes, and then markets are going to close at 12 p.m. Central. So if you got anything to do or need to talk with anybody, the markets will be open and available until noon Central today. So shortened, abbreviated trading day today. Appreciate everybody that tunes in on a daily basis. If you wouldn't mind, throw us a like or subscribe. Doesn't cost you anything to do so. It'll keep you up to speed on everything AgYield. We got a couple of announcements coming out next week that you'll certainly want to be subscribed and get the updates on there. We're going to put together a couple of really valuable webinars in the next couple weeks that we think guys will certainly appreciate. So be sure to tune in, and we'll have more updates for you there beginning part of next week. So again, like or subscribe. Thanks again to everybody that supports the show. Every day that the markets are open, we're streaming live on X, Facebook Live, and YouTube Live, 8:15 Central Time. Appreciate the thoughts and comments here this morning, guys. Good show. Hope everybody had a great holiday. Enjoy Black Friday, and we look forward to talking to you again next week.
The War Room is proudly presented by AgYield. For over 50 years, the AgYield team has provided grain marketing and risk management solutions for growers across the country. Our veteran consultants harness cutting-edge technologies to pinpoint risk, optimize market performance, and protect your farm's profitability. Discover a new approach to farm revenue management at agyield.com.
Hey guys, Jack here. Be sure to support the show by hitting the like button, leaving us a comment, and subscribing to the channel for all the latest updates. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.